So here's a quick run through of the new AI tools that are available on SMID. Some of these are analysis based and some of these are very much like just classroom tools or planning tools and so on. So you can find these on the AI tools part of the dashboard, which is there at the bottom. Click into it. We've got three sets of tools here. The one I'm actually just going to start with is the analysis tools. This was kind of, I guess, the most directly relevant to other SMID tools. And the whole point here is you can create dashboards by just describing what you want in the dashboard. This is at its early stages as I sit with it here. This is June. There will be lots of iterations on this where it's improved. But this is just giving you a overview of how it works currently. So I click create dashboard and then I pick a year group. So I'm going to pick year 11. I'm going to give it a title. So let's just say this is a bit of a like English and maths review. I then have to give a description. So I've got a little description here that I've just copied and pasted in. So I'm carrying out a maths and English review. Create a dashboard for year 11 autumn. Include both point score and PTT charts. So notice how I've told it what subjects I want. I don't have to just do that. I can give like overview figures as well, so like headline figures. But I've asked there for subjects. I've then told it the data capture I want to go from, so year 11 autumn. That's not limited to just one. I could put year 11 autumn, I could put as well as year 11 spring. I have to use names that are relevant to my data. And then I've put include both point score and PTT charts. So you've got to be nice and descriptive. I click create. It then goes red. Just saying, that it's loading. You can see the loading over there. That will take a little bit of time, probably take about a minute. So I'm going to come back when this is completed, when it's green. So as you can now see, it's changed to green. I can now just click view. And as you can see, it's created me those charts I asked for. So it's created me things like year 11 autumn maths point score, which I asked for, year 11 autumn maths PTT. I've got my languages, I've got my literature. You see, I just said English, but it's picked up that it needs both of those. So it's quite clever in what it can do. I could have asked for things like SEN or pupil premium, and just to demonstrate that, I'm just going to show this chart how I can update it using the options values. So I can update, I could change it to a different subject if I wanted to, but I can also just make it like, let's say SEN, and then I'll change it to an SEN chart. So I'm just going to hit save on that. Must not have any SEN students in there. Just bear me a second. Just to show you how you can change these charts, so I can change this one here. Let's take this year 11 autumn English literature. I could change that and I could make it I'll keep it as a PTT, but let's say I could change the subject. But more importantly, I can maybe just put a pupil group on there. So I'm going to put SEN and hit save. And as you can see, it now thins it down just to my SEN students. That will then save. If I want to come back to that, it will then have that information there, as you can see. So it doesn't require, it will update and you can come back to it whenever you wish. So great little tool. Try it out, ask for different types of dashboards. It'll tell you what you can ask for. As it grows, you'll be able to ask for more and more things. It'll probably get more and more complicated in terms of what you can produce. Hopefully that will keep it very simple from the point of view of just creating a dashboard and giving it a description. If I go back to the home page, you can see that there's these two other things. Now these are a little bit different. So we've got planning and content tools. So this will do pretty much anything you ask when it comes to needing a content. So for example, I've got a few examples in here, like you can ask it to plan a trip or create an assembly or write a lesson plan or write a report. So let's just suggest we want to write a lesson plan. So let's say we want to write a lesson plan for a Year 10 class on Newton's second law, and then I'm going to put there, let's just give it something random, like there are 2 Polish students, please create a vocab list with the keywords in English and Polish, let's just say. Okay, just to give it an extra task. So I could have asked for like a random starter activity or something like that, but I'm going to ask for that. It's going to say I'm thinking. I might just skip a little bit here, but it takes about 20 seconds, maybe that. Maybe a little bit more if it's a big task. And there we go, it's completed. So I've got my vocabulary list here. You can see it's got the words in English, it's then got them in Polish. I've got a brief lesson plan. I could have asked for a lot more detail than that. It does vary depending on what I explain, what I want, you know what I mean, in terms of the actual lesson plan. Let's just use it to do something slightly different. So let's say that you're stuck with a question in Excel. So let's say you're not sure, how do I average a column? So you could say, how do I average a column in Excel? And this will probably be a bit quicker. So submit. And there we go, it gives me a nice little explanation of how to average a column in Excel. Great little tool, really helpful, really useful for, solving problems or making content. You might want to need to write a report, you might need to summarize something. You can put that information in. You could paste a big chunk of text from a document and say, can you summarize this? So now we've got a couple of last bits. We've got classroom tools, and so on here we've got the these are a few little random things, mainly just from playing around with AI tools. So character interpretation, so I can pick a character from a book. So let's make it easy, Macbeth, and from the book Macbeth. What do you want to ask them? So you can say, I don't know, did you always want to become king? Let's say. I'm not an English teacher, so apologies if my question is a bit rubbish. But you can ask it, and then it will respond in the character. It will respond how they would speak and so on. Give you an answer that's hopefully very relevant. So there we go. I'm not going to read it out, but you see the response. And then talk to person from history. So this is the same sort of idea. I could ask Einstein a question. I could say, what do you think to the cosmological constant? So this is a thing that he came up with that he didn't like, or that he struggled with. And then it gives me an answer based on, the information that makes sense to the situation. So that's a great little tool that you can use in lesson. And the very last one is a random starter question. So if I want a starter question for my biology GCSE class, so let's just say biology GCSE, well, I'll leave GCSE actually, just biology on the Nephron. So let's see what that creates me as a question. So this should give me there we go. So how does the structure of the nephron contribute to filtration and reabsorption of substances in the kidney? So it's great at just giving you a little starter question. I could rephrase that a little bit, or I could ask some more detail, that kind of thing, and I get a different question. Really, hopefully a nice little useful tool. So I'm going to go back to the AI Tools home. So they're all can be found in that section that's on the home page of the dashboard. I will just show you one other thing on this example school. So there is on every table, there is an AI report writer. And what this allows you to do is literally type a report title in. So I could be saying this is my year 11 report, and then I can ask it something about this table. So it's got to be specific to this table. So I could ask it to summarize the average PTT scores, explain where the strengths and weaknesses are, or strengths and areas to improve are. So generate report. I'll come up with a message. I might just skip this bit, but obviously all of this is through a collaboration with My School AI, so I'm just going to pause for a second. And the report will be created. It'll explain those different bits. If I download the report, it does me a nice little download where I have the report showing with all the data that was in there and then the explanation underneath. So hopefully you'll see that that's all over the place. There's an AI report tool. You'll see it on top of different areas of the dashboard. Really, really useful little tool for hopefully helping you in building any reports that you need to build. That's everything. Thanks for listening, and hope you find these tools useful.